community so that we begin to understand what it takes to actually advance as a community, not as an individual. We all know that if the community advances, there are going to be individuals that advance, and a lot of times there's unequal advancement at times. But it's based upon our participation in the process. So I'm really excited about being here, and I look forward to the discussion.
I am the owner of Magic City Surge, which is a semi-professional basketball team here in Birmingham, Alabama. We are in our first season. The ABA has over 120 teams. I'm the 13th female owner in the league and the first female owner in the history of Alabama to own a professional sports team.
I'm the president of the Birmingham Metro Black Chamber of Commerce. I'm also a business owner. I've been in business for 17 years up under the same name. And what we do with the Birmingham Chamber is basically empower our communities through entrepreneurship, business development, and education. And it's beautiful to be discussing this here with business owners. My whole thought process is listen to the ones who have the proof of concept. There's a lot of people that can give you in theory, but if you've been there hands-on, trial and error, that's the best one to get from. You understand? And we are strictly about community and culture. Because one of the things without community, which is a beautiful thing right here, if you don't have it, you don't have economics. Because somebody got to patronize those businesses. And it's one hand washes the other. So that's what I'm about, that's what I do. I wear a couple other hats, but I'm gonna keep it right here. Let's get started.
All right, first question. What are 3 ingredients that you think that are essential to a business? Anybody can start it off, no one in particular.
One that stands out to me is your faith, your foundation, your core values. If you don't have your core values intact, which it has to be divine, if you don't have that foundation intact, your business is just not going to last. That's one of the things that kept me going for 17 years, my core values, and then consistency and education.
So you say, so tell me again just the words, because you gave some great explanation.
Core values, consistency, and education.
And faith, you started out with faith.
Yeah, faith is within the core values.
Okay.
We have to have applied faith.
So core values, consistency, and education.
And education.
Okay. All right. Ron?
You know, that's always an interesting question, but the key is always teamwork. You can't start a business and expect for it to be a big business if it's just one individual. Now, that means you have to establish a team and deal with a couple of issues. And the 2 most important issues that you have to deal with in any business is the control of the business. Who's going to actually control the business? And that really should be the one that has the greatest level of expertise in that business that can make it work. The other part is wealth building. You have to be able to share the wealth in any business that's generated for it to be successful. And that's how you draw a team, and that's how you make it successful.
So just to reiterate, you said wealth building, team, and who is in control? Joshua?
Yeah, Brother Rod stole one of my answers, the teamwork. There's an African proverb that says, alone you can go faster, but together you can go farther. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad has a 10-point program dealing with economic development. And he says that we should, number 1, pool our resources. He says that the biggest enemy of black people is not white people, it's fear and distrust. And we have too much fear and distrust among ourselves. So dealing with black business, we have to learn how to pool our resources, but first trust each other enough to pool our resources. And then one key that he said was envy and jealousy destroys from the within. And when you find our people opening up businesses, or my sister has a team, Rod is a state legislator, you have too much envy, you have too much jealousy on the inside. And then it causes us to, not trust each other and to work against each other. You with me, Brooklyn?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm right there with you. Drummers, I see some drummers coming in. Y'all can come up to the front. Y'all can come up to the front. Just grab a seat and come over in this area. So let me get you to reiterate those 3 points for me, for clarity's sake.
It may have been more than 3. It's pool your resources.
Pool your resources.
Jealousy destroys from within.
Okay.
And what's
Trust.
Trust.
Okay.
Trust, among the brotherhood and the sisterhood to be able to pool our resources to open up business.
So I can add a couple to that. I would say number one, structure. I see too many businesses that don't really properly structure their business in the beginning. So quick to get started, but they're not properly structured from a tax standpoint, from a legal standpoint. Some of us trying to run business, but it's not really a business, it's a hustle. So structure, and then I would also say vision. Some people they can't see the forest for the trees. So if you can't see long term in your business, then you're going to have a short term impact. And so I would say vision, being able to see way beyond where you are, and I think that's a problem, not just in business, just in our lives. Can we see 10 years, 20 years, simply focusing on the now? So structure and vision be 2 key principles, because you can build out from the vision. You can build out your long-term, short-term goals from the vision. You got to have an ultimate, what are you trying to accomplish type of thing with what you have actually created.
So reiterate those 3 points.
I just said 2, structure and vision.
Structure and vision. Okay. All right. Building on, I think that the point that teamwork kind of resonated with Rod and Tremont. How do you develop and sustain teamwork? Because you know, sometimes personalities mesh, and sometimes they conflict, and sometimes they are acidic. How do you sustain and how do you build teamwork?
Well, just in our experience, we start off with a lot of people wanting to be on our team. Dig into what you want, understanding what you want, understanding your purpose, your position, and the progress that you want. When you work with that, they will weed their own selves out quickly.
So now you talk about weed. Let me go back to the second part of the question. Sustainability. Sustaining, in other words, keeping it going, keeping it fed, keeping it fueled. How do you do that? And I won't say in theory because you're doing it right now. How are you maintaining the bond of teamwork in your organization?
Well, of course, the Most High helps out a whole lot. But understanding my position, understanding that position does not mean stagnation. Position means progress. Understanding that I can't know it all, that I have to surround myself with people that have the knowledge that I don't have. Understanding that, as my husband says, God has given us 2 to 5% of these guys' lives. We're responsible for their lives. 2 to 5% of their lives we're responsible for. And that's not enough to keep anybody going. And if we all had that concept in the community that everything that we do, we're responsible for somebody else's life. And that keeps us pushing and sustaining. Regardless of what support we have, if we support each other, it'll just grow like cancer.
So
To piggyback also saying position, I'm going to take it from a different angle. What I've learned in teamwork, the biggest thing that I've learned is that everybody's a 10 in some area. And if you can focus on their 10 instead of focusing on their 1, you'll have a beautiful team. And so when you start talking about position, well, wherever that 10 is for that individual, well, that's the position they fill. And if we just focus on all of the good things that they bring instead of maybe the 1 or 2 negative things, man, it'll be sustained as well because you'll always be praising instead of belittling.
That's why you gotta understand. You gotta understand.
That's all I got. That's what I can mad at.
Brother Tremont and Brother Rod.
Yes, sir. The same thing that's wrong in the community, in government. Anywhere you go, it's the same thing that happens in business and teamwork. And it's one word, communication. That's it. If you keep the lines of communication open, just like in a marriage, then you can you can work through anything. So, when you're building the team and trying to sustain the team, what you'll find is when you close the lines of communication, that's when you see the team start to fall apart. Because he may do something that I don't like, or he may not have been a 10 in that area, He may have been a 5 in that area, but I don't communicate with him to let him know, brother, I didn't necessarily like this. Let's do it another way next time. And so when we cut the communication off, then the relationship gets strained. Before you know it, he starts telling that person, I start telling Rod, and then everybody's looking at each other crazy. So in all of our areas of interaction, we have to keep that communication open and then learn how to resolve conflict.
All right.
A business has and this may sound kind of technical, but a business has a lot of functional areas. You got legal, you have operations, you have marketing, you have finance, you have human resources, you have information technology, you have security. All of those aspects takes a person with some level of expertise to run those areas. So when you're building a team to get your business off the ground, you know that ultimately you have to have people with expertise in those areas. And then it goes to how do you make the decisions? What are the rules that you play by on your team? Some people call it Robert's Rules of Order. Some people call it Mason's Rules of Order. But you got to have some structure so that you can have your agenda, discuss those items on the agenda, and begin to make decisions that are going to be best for the company that you're representing. And the main thing is that realize that people are never going to always agree. Agreement is crucial as a final decision. In other words, we can be disagreeable about an issue, but we don't make it personal with each other. And that the decision-making process decides what we're going to do, and then we have to do that, even if it's not what you believe in. You have to join in with the team and say, okay, we're going to execute it that way. The team has decided that that's the way you do it. And we just go forward. Because we're never going to agree on everything, and that's a good thing. And I've learned that, people set up boards to run organizations. You can choose an odd number, or you can choose an even number. An even number forces agreement. Because you'll always have more people agreeing to do it that way if it's an even number of people making the decision. If it's an odd number, it always goes into brokering. One person may decide they want to stand out and control the decision-making process because there's enough on the other side that are in disagreement with each other that I only need that one person to agree with what I want them to do to get it done. And they become a power broker in the group. So I always like dealing with even numbers of people because it forces agreement.
Now I'm going to flip the direction of the question just a little bit, and I'm going to zero in on each person. And each one of y'all have the field of expertise and experiences. I'm going to try to kind of pull from that when I ask you a question. I'm going to start off with Rod Scott, and then I'm going to move around. For a business person, Rod, when you write a business plan for that business and you're either seeking funding or that business is trying to define itself and its mission, how should one be putting that together?
First of all, I don't believe that you have two business plans. You have an internal business plan and then you have an external business plan that you show people and bankers to raise money. But you never give your business ideas and content in an external business plan. Because you're opening it up for it to be used by your competition. So you have to realize that you just deal with mostly the financial projections and common structure within an external business.
What would I define common structure for those of us that may not be?
Those aspects of a business that I told you about, your business plan should include all of those. Finance, marketing, operations, human resources, legal, information technology, and security. But you don't give away your conceptual ideas that make your business unique in a business plan that's going to be exposed and that's external to everybody.
Now, I want to bring the question over to Curtis. Curtis had that look on his face like he's waiting, and it's you.
Well, no. I just want to double back because the teamwork is very important.
Okay.
And what worked for me is core values again. Because that right there, the core values helps you choose your partner properly. In other words, we may have different personalities, but if we share the same value system, we can get something done. And she holds integrity, and she's a go-getter. These things that's in that foundation right there. Now, she may be an up person, I may be a laid-back person, you know what I'm saying? But if we share the same core value, we can get something done. And as far as the business plan goes, the business plan to me is like a playbook. And I don't believe in being funded. No, if you're not a manufacturing business or restaurant or got some kind of mass production going, you don't need no money from no bank. You need to sit up here and put your playbook together, you know what I'm saying, and make it happen from the build from the ground up. Because when you grow really organically, you know what I'm saying, you don't have no overhead, you don't have all this other stuff. Because I see business start folding, and that's just a headache just waiting to happen if you don't have that cash flow and that income coming in. So if you ain't created the sales, you need to go out there and sell. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to go get no funding. I personally don't believe in no service business, no CPAs, any professionals going to get no loan. You don't need no loan. You need to go create sales. You know what I'm saying? And if you're gonna grow, if you need money to grow your business, use your sales to grow your business. That's an oxymoron. How you need money when you grow? I need money cause my business growing. Whoa. If your business is growing, you don't need the money. You see what I'm saying? Right. So financial management is what you need.
Okay. Now I have to disagree with that. And the reason that I have to disagree is that if you study any growth company, growth will kill a company because the cash flow isn't generated to sustain the growth. And that's why people go out and borrow money so that they can sustain the growth. Now, if you don't have any growth, there's no reason for you to go out and borrow money. So you have to have a good growth plan so that you have the cash flow, because guess what? There are all these upfront expenses that you have to meet when you're growing.
You got to be creative, Rod. I'm not talking in theory. I'm talking what I've done.
I'm not talking in theory. I be a strategic planner for a $3 billion company. This ain't theory that I'm talking about. It's just a different structural format than our community is used to working in.
Right. And it's several different ways. It's not one size fit all. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, when I'm talking to small business owners, most of the time when you walk in there, the bank is not going to give you the loan anyway. You can have a $700 and then they say you need to have 701. You understand? So my thing is, okay, get back to your grind, your creativity, and get out there and make the sale.
Very good dialogue, but I got a specific question. Okay. Specific question, how many people do you manage on a weekly basis?
How many people that work for me?
Yes, sir. You manage them, right?
12 people.
12 people. Okay, what is the key to deal with the cohesiveness of them, and how do you deal with 12 people that you keep them motivated and inspired? And as what you were saying, you know, sometimes if your money may be 6 hours late or 1 day late, how do you dealing with all certain internal issues? You know.
Well, with the crew, with the people, it's like you say, communication. Communication is key. That's like the thing. Now, economics is everything to a business. You have to have some form of financial management in your business. In other words, know your number. So, because if you asking me internally, like how I keep them paid if I'm on a net 45 or a net 60 or something?
No, I'm just saying if
explain to everybody what a net 45 and a net 60 is, so that they know what a net 45 and a net 60 is, because I see a lot of people in here, especially some younger people, that may not know what a net 45 and 60 is.
Can you define that?
Yeah. You don't get your money until 45 days.
Yeah.
Which impacts your cash flow.
That is correct.
Net 60 makes it even worse.
Right.
Now, if you're not
One at a
borrowing
time. It's
money,
good dialogue, but one at a
if
time.
you're not borrowing money, you have to raise equity from people, right? Which Brother Tremont talked about pooling resources, which means that you got to have a source of equity money. And if you don't have a source of equity money, then you have to use the strength of the company being able to grow from the service or product that it's providing to borrow money if you're going to grow. Because I have known companies to put other companies out of business talking about net 45 and it becomes net 120. Because they don't want you to be in business.
Right.
If you're dealing with the government, sometimes it becomes net 180. So how do you sustain that cash flow and growth when you're constantly waiting for your money to come in?
Yeah.
Good dialogue. You want to
Yeah,
respond to that?
sure. Again, when you grow organically, knowing your number, when you growing organically and managing your money properly, putting your money aside, you got to have a reserve. 3 to 6 months, I say 1 year. They say 3 to 6 months worth of reserve. And I'm only telling you how I managed at one point 60 million. You understand? With no bank loans. You understand?
Right.
Now, what I couldn't do beyond that, guess what I had to say? No. Now, did I still do fine? Yes. You see what I'm saying? And if somebody's trying to single-handedly put me out of business, please. You see what I'm saying? I can't worry about what that's his problem. You see what I'm saying? I know who I serve. That's why I said your foundation. If your core values is intact, and my faith, my applied faith is wrapped up in that foundation block, I don't care what somebody, white man can't sit up here and try to hold my revenue back. Are you kidding me? I started my business at 26. I was the youngest black guy walking up in a room full of white men bidding on huge price. I don't care. You in my place. I'm not in your place because I know who I serve. So in other words, if you're going to own a business, you need to know who you serve. And your foundation, it got to be wrapped up in that. And once you get that solid foundation, now those are the intangibles. Now let's go here and do the tangible work. Now you need to know financial management, knowing your number, knowing how long it takes. If you're selling these products right here, you need to know your cost of everything right there, how much you're gonna get off of that, and sit up here and put your profit margin to that, knowing your number. Now you got to get out and sell. You have to sell. Me personally, I worked on the private sector first. In the government sector, I'm crazy. I go in there and tell that contractor, hey man, put me on the net 15, and you can take 1% off of my cash flow. You see what I'm saying? So now that net 15, I submit that payment application to them, and that right there is only going to take care of my payroll for my guy. I can wait 30 days for my salary. You see what I'm saying? But they can't wait. You see what I'm saying? So then I tell them, get 1%. Now that 1% costs me. You see what I'm saying? But that right there was able to get me to finish that project, and you got me sitting here. You see what I'm saying? And that's on my resume that I'm done whatever I'm done. So your blackness, your black excellence, your creativity, your foundation. That's what I'm saying.
I know everybody wants to talk, but I'm zeroing in questions, and then I'm going to tell the audience. So I already got in my mind who I'm coming to next. Your question won't be that hard, brother. You already know what I'm talking about, messing with it. Tell us about you working with Blue Seas and grassroots business. Grassroots business has a challenge because you're basically operating on faith. How do you maintain, sustain, keep that business moving?
That's all I can say. Woo. Because, both of them are right. Brother Rod is talking from business at a certain level.
Right.
My brother on the end is talking from business at a certain level.
Right.
When you starting out, the thing that you got to have is utmost faith. But you got to also have work, because faith without works is dead. But see, our problem is we look around and we say, well, black folks don't have no money. That's a lie. Black folks do have money. If we didn't have money, the Arabs, the Iranians, the Palestinians, the Jews, they wouldn't be in our communities. Right. They have recognized that we have money. We just don't realize that we have money. Right. Now, individually, we may be struggling. Right. But collectively, if you put our money together, collectively, then we are up in the trillions of dollars. And if black people in America were a nation, we will rank between the 9th and the 15th richest nation on the planet, higher than nations like Spain. Are y'all hearing me?
Yes, sir.
My point is, we have money, we just don't know what to do with money.
Right.
So the first thing we have to do is teach our people the love for self. Because if I have a restaurant and a white person or anybody else, Arab or anybody else has the same restaurant serving the same thing. For instance, if I got wings, you can't tell me that a Chinese person can make wings better than me. If I got fried fish, you can't tell me that an Arab can make fried fish better than me. Right. You can't tell me that. So why would our people pass by my restaurant to go into the Arab restaurant? Because we think everybody else's ice is colder than ours. All right. So we got to educate our people first to make them realize that no, we got to do for ourselves. If we don't do for ourselves, then we're already suffering the consequences. But we're going to suffer more consequences if we don't do for ourselves. So to answer your question, faith, work, and creativity. Like my brother said, Kwankaa. You know, the minister put out a study guide one time. He said that love is not this mushy emotional feeling that we think is love. He said love is the creative force through which the universe was created on. Right. So anytime you love something, your love is shown and proven by your creativity. If I love this woman, then I'll be creative enough, even if I don't have the money. I'll find a way. I'll be creative enough to prove my love for her because I have love. So if I want to open business and if I really love the community that I'm serving, see, we have our motto is people over profit. All right. Say that again, people over profit. We sell dinners and plates for about half of what they get it from everywhere else because we're not totally concerned about profit, we're concerned about serving our people. So we go into it first with the attitude of service, that I believe that we can be successful. And I've seen it done with Sister Jonetta. I've seen it done with many in here who have businesses, not just restaurants, but other businesses that they serve their people. But if they go into it with the attitude of service first, then they'll find themselves being successful. Then you bring in somebody like Rod to manage your money so you won't go broke trying to serve people.
Now we're going to direct our question. Brother, even in this question I want to ask you.
One more time.
You're from Decatur, right? I think be careful. In your ER, am I saying ERGJ?
ERGJ, yeah.
ERGJ, you have 200 people that are part of your network. How did you recruit them? Tell us about the importance of social media. Tell us about how do you keep those people involved and engaged in that network.
Yes, Networks Black Billionaires Club. We are able to get 200 people in 2 months, paying $25 a month to learn. How do we do it? Real simple. It's called consistent contact. Consistent contact. So I have a schedule. We're putting out content on a regular basis, every day, all day for the most part. Because one thing about people is it goes back to being a child. They're hungry for knowledge. Right. And they really are. It's just a matter of who's feeding them. And so if we feed the people what they desire, then they'll keep eating it more and more. So they're hungry for knowledge, and we're based on something that everybody is wanting to talk about now, which is cryptocurrency. And so that's unknown, and so they need a teacher. And I always say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so we're there for them. And then they also see results. So as members see results, and they share with other people their testimony, stop having testimony service for some reason, when they share with the other people their testimony, then that convinces the other people who didn't get started in the beginning to come on down. So, and then my testimony, and I tell them, you get access to me. You know, there's only one me, so if you want to get access to me, you come through our process. That's kind of how it works.
If you don't mind me interjecting right now, we're actually beginning to mix different types of businesses, right? It's more intellectual property that Brother Evan is talking about. When we're talking about electrical contracting, you know, it's actually installing products. When we're talking about food, there are a whole other set of issues that you deal with. And that's why I said earlier, the two things are controlling wealth. I wouldn't try to run a restaurant when my brother here knows how to run a restaurant. Why would I do that? But I probably wouldn't have a issue with assisting with some capital for the restaurant. And that's where we talk about money resource coming in, because resources are more than just money. Money is a means of exchange. We exchange money for resources. And the business needs money so that they can take that money and convert it to resources to run the business so it can become profitable.
All right, so now tell us, Kim, and then we're gonna open up the floor for about 5 questions. What is your key to working with a team and no money? Maybe am I right, or you know?
Oh, you're real.
Okay.
I think one word that everyone uses is being consistent. Knowing how to manage your money. My husband and I work full-time jobs and manage a team. Just to be honest, my coworkers say you built a whole basketball team on the time of your job. And I kind of did. Phone calls, reaching out to family and friends, asking, hey, can you run my Facebook? Can you send this message? Can you make these phone calls? And just having faith and working with that faith, believing that the money's going to come. Currency is flowing. So I speak in the atmosphere that my currency is flowing my way. And everything, every need we might need or might want will be met, and it has been. Me and my husband say all the time, we don't know how we have money in the bank, because we pay these guys, we have to pay for a venue, we have to pay for referees, we have to pay for all types of stuff for them to eat. We try to make their life as simple as possible, because they're doing a service to the community. They're letting these young men know that you don't have to just leave your city and dream of being an NBA. It's okay to start off small. Some of our guys are leaving going overseas. Some of them might end up in the NBA. You never know. So it's just that faith that we have that it will all work for the good of our people, because it's not about anybody else. When we got the team, it was about our community, our people. That's what it was about. So no money, it is, yeah. But to be honest, we are richer than we have ever been.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Yeah, I left one thing out. When we first started, and we're really in the beginning phases now, but when we first started, we saw the restaurant, and it was in shambles. You couldn't even recognize it as a restaurant. I didn't ask anybody for anything. I just went in, I started cleaning up, and once we got it to a certain point where you could recognize it, then we started putting equipment in. And then once we got it to a certain level, and the people saw that we were serious, then we opened it up for investors. That's why I said I'm the face of it, because it's not just me. It's not about me. But I don't want to do anything by myself.
Right.
He said if 6 or 8 of you have knowledge of a certain business, then pool your resources and go into that business. So we opened it up for investment. It's not just Muslims. We have all kind of people that have invested. But then I paid a brother Samora, who does business planning. And I said, write up an investment plan so that I can present it, to the potential investors. But my point is, we're spreading. It's not just about me. I'm saying, brother, you do this, write an investment plan, and then we invest in him. And then we tell them, we give the investors the investment plan. Then the Jews do it like this. I've had the benefit of sitting at the table with many different rappers, entertainers, and whatnot. And if Lil Wayne goes to his manager, who happens to be a member of the Jewish community, he deals with him on the management tip, but then the manager says, I heard you're looking for some gold teeth. I got a brother across town.
Right.
Guess what he does? He's a dentist.
Right.
That does gold teeth. He goes to him. Then the gold teeth man said, because we think that, once we get it, then it's all over with.
That's right.
So anyway, like I said, we spread the wealth, but the first thing the people had to see was that I was serious. It only takes the faith of one person, one man or woman. And once people see that you're serious, Brother Walter, who's sitting over there, I was at the mosque one time, and I was doing the message for the Sunday. At the end, I announced the menu. I said, Blue Seas is going to be open for a few hours after the mosque. So I finished the lecture, and Brother Walter said, I'm going to come around there. Is anybody around there now? I said, yeah. When he got around there, I was around there. So I took off the suit jacket.
Right.
I put on the apron. I had my 1 or 2 helpers, and he said, brother, usually when somebody announces a menu, it's already ready. He said, but that's impressive, and I know that you're serious about what you're doing. So people have to see that you're serious first before you can actually open up and actually help.
Can I add one thing to what he's saying? Real
Go
quick?
right ahead, bro.
Hey, so really, what he just said is so powerful. I really want to do something for everybody that's here. Everybody that's serious about whatever it is you're doing, whether it be marriage, business, school, whatever it is that you're doing. If you're serious about it, I want everybody to say all in.
All in.
Okay, let me do it again. If you're serious about whatever it is, in other words, let me put it another way. If you're serious about your dream, say all in.
All in.
If you're serious about your goals, say all in.
All in.
If you're serious about your aspirations, say all in.
All in.
See, once you go all in, not halfway, once you go all in, then you begin to get, everybody begins to see you, and you get this thing called recognition. Once you get recognition, that's when businesses really start to take off, because now you're recognized by the community as somebody that went all in on your dream. That's all the people wait. That's all money is waiting on. It's for people to go all in. That's all I got to say. I can go. I can go.
All right, before we open up the floor to questions, gotta recognize the brothers from DR.
Yes.
And you just kept playing humble, my brother. Come on, stand where the other brothers. Yeah, we all come on and bring them drums up there right after. Nobody got it. Y'all came from my drummer just to be with us. Thank you, brother. Yeah, they always look out for me, and I gotta recognize my brother. Yeah, okay, so now we're going to open up the floor for questions. Y'all can grab some chairs here or back there. What's up, Bob? All right, good. And who has questions? We got room for, okay, we're going to try to do about 8 now. Y'all got to be concise now, because we ain't going to be at 10 o'clock, because George going to fire me from Kwankaa committee now. And Brother Kill already threatened me. He threatened to take my cupcake, too. Okay, so somebody help me. First question, I'm going to get my brother right there. Very concise, please.
The question I have is, I know a brother who has a restaurant, and his restaurant has been successful for over 10 years. But his restaurant is so small that even the health department is kind of getting on him to kind of expand the kitchen and maybe even a dining area. So I think, like what the brother minister said, that you both are right. But in that type of situation, how could that help that brother's business?
If me, that's direct to me.
Both of you guys, if
Okay.
briefly. Yeah.
Well, like you said, we both are right, but me personally, I would actually, if my goal is to grow that business beyond that right there, I would put a financial plan together. And first of all, in my numbers, again, you have to know your numbers. And profit is not to pay yourself. Profit is to put back into your business. Your gross profit is to pay your salary. Your net profit is to go back into your business. So, having said that, that net profit, I'm already putting in from day one. And if I need to grow or expand organically, that's what I would do. You see what I'm saying? From day, because like my brother said, starting off with a structure from the gate, coming out the gate, you also need to have a financial structure put in plan. A plan and a goal. You know you're not going to stay in square 8. You see what I'm saying? At some point, you're going to have to scale. So in order to scale, you're going to have a financial plan, or like Brother Ron said, go get extra finances to do that. But at any rate, either I'm going to go to Rod or I'm going to go to myself. But it got to have a financial plan put in place. I can't sit up and say, day 30, I want to grow now. Then I'm going to go to Rod, and that's going to work, you see what I'm saying? But I still could have done it day 1, but it would have been slower, you see what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you see what I'm saying? But we're both right, you know.
But I have to agree with different stages of development. And even if you look at our community, at some point, a generation has to sacrifice for the next
Come on now,
generation.
that's real.
And that means that you have to put money away and never touch it just for them to have access to it when you think they're ready to have access to it. And we haven't done that. The other cultures have done that.
They have
The
done
Italians, the Irish, the Jews,
That's right.
they did that in the 1800s.
That is correct.
And we've never done it. But I don't understand why they putting pressure on him to grow.
Right.
Y'all know Gus Hot Dogs downtown.
Wow.
It's been there forever, right?
40 years.
I mean,
40 years.
how big is it?
Little pop.
Smaller than Sticky Pete.
I mean, it's just.
But what they was telling him, he had to start cooking less food now because his kitchen is too big. I mean, too small.
His kitchen's too small, so they told him he had to cook.
He got to cook less food, but he has a strong clientele base.
See, now that's where somebody, now he need to be talking to somebody. You know what I'm saying? To put a growth plan together. That's what that is.
Yeah, I mean, that means that his kitchen is in such disarray that his ratings are gonna start going down, right? His food ratings.
Well, his food, he has good.
We got to move to the next question. We short on time. And I got about 7 people, so I'm trying to get everybody.
I know. We'll talk to you after.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Abarigani, everyone. Great information. I just have a quick something to say. As Brother Achilles said, I've been around a while, and I've went to hundreds of these, and I see the black people leave without an action item, because it's just another meeting if we don't. So I would highly encourage you, don't bring these many conscious people and intelligent people in a room and don't have a sign-in sheet where we can stay connected. That's mandatory, because the information gap. Is there a black business journal in the Birmingham area? The other thing I'd like to say is, in New Orleans we did something that was called a cash mob. We selected a black business every month and we put it out, and everybody went there. And those who are not on board, like I came here tonight, they got a line around the corner at the hall down the street with some type of kiss, shake your booty kind of event. But they're good people, they're ours. But to grab the people, we got to show them something. To just talk about it, it's not going to work in this day and time. So let's not leave without an action item, and make sure we're all connected right here tonight.
All right, now I'm moving. I will tell you this, Brother Walter. An outgrowth of what we've been doing. We talked about for 7 years. We do have a website, just haven't complete. It's called BirminghamBlackWallStreet.com, and we got working at the technical side, but we do have 250 black businesses on there now. BirminghamBlackWallStreet.com, and partnered with Brother Benny Holmes, who want to say something, and a couple more people, and we made it happen. Okay. So, Lady Freeman, then we'll get to you, Ben. We're working my way around the room.
I didn't know about the basketball team, so I want to know, like, when do y'all play? What are y'all games? What can we do?
That's right.
Come out and support. We are we played our last game of 2017 Saturday home game. We have a game tomorrow in Chelsea. But we pick back up in Birmingham on the 13th of January. We play on the 14th as well. Our schedule is on our website, MagicCitySurge.com, Facebook, Magic City Surge, Instagram, Magic City Surge, Twitter is MCSurge205. Please like our page on Facebook, encourage your friends to like our page, visit our website, support as much as you can. Prime example, Citizens Trust Bank was not able to give us any funding or sponsorship, but for one of the games, they bought 200 tickets for us to give them, just to support.
Wow, that's awesome.
So,
that's support.
Yeah, and what we do, and mainly my husband and I, and a couple of our staff members during the week, we hit pretty much every school in the city of Birmingham and give out tickets. So we give out about 300 tickets to students to encourage their parents to bring them out. Our last game, we gave away over 200 toys at the game. So, we're just trying to make sure that we give back, make sure that our guys experience. The experience of giving will cause consistency of giving. So, you know, we just need you all to be consistent in supporting us. We play at the historic A.H. Parker High School.
All right.
We play at 4 o'clock, usually for our home games. The earliest is 3, but most of our home games are.
And I hate to do this to you, but I'm gonna do this anyway. They always looking for vendors, and I had a friend of mine that went to the event and vended, and it's $30, but you got like what, about 300 to 500 people there if you vend, so it's a very good return on your money.
Yeah, so it's $30 if we have our own setup, and we have to supply with the table and chairs $50, because that means we have to get Parker to give us tables and chairs, so we prefer to use table and chairs so we don't work them too much. And the reason we're there is because our city schools funding, it's kind of, you know, depressing, and the basketball team didn't have money to buy uniforms or shoes. So, Parker High School. So we were able to go in there and help the athletic department raise money. And another thing is because they increased the price on the crossplex to the point where we can't afford it. It's not for us anymore. It never was, but I mean, they really have shut us out now, though. Really have.
Okay. All right, Brother Benny, I'm just trying to hit as many people as you can. We got about room for 4 minutes.
I had some of the questions answered, but I will say that I'm a business owner in the city of Birmingham for 36 years. And one of the things I found out is that you have to be creative in running a business. And I never use borrowed money. Because if I use borrowed money, I've been working for somebody else. So I would have been out of business a long time ago. In fact, I've been going so long that I would never know I've started. So you have to be creative. And you can't work in a system that wasn't designed for you anyway. You know, some of us get lucky. Some of us get lucky, and we are allowed, and that's the key word, we are allowed to pass through. But for the vast majority of African Americans, we're not allowed to. So we have to be creative and starting a business and maintaining a business. And two things that I've come to realize throughout the years, all you need is two things. You don't need a business plan, you don't need a big organization, you don't need a financial advisor. You need a product, a service, and a customer. If you do well by that customer, you can make it. Now it depends, like somebody mentioned about us, how big you want to be. You want to be comfortable, or you want to be all over?
Real quick, because we on time.
I want to add, we keep hearing this word creative, and I'm from a new school, a new age. I want you guys to understand there are creative ways to raise capital. You don't have to go to a bank to get money. I do peer-to-peer lending with my people in my community. I say, hey, you got $100, you got $100, I need $1,000, I need 10 people with $100, and I'm going to give you back a guaranteed 20% on your return. That's getting you cash flow. And I know I can pay them 20% back because I already got the money. I just need the cash flow to keep extending my business. You got equity crowdfunding now. Kickstarter went to a whole nother level since Obama came in and made it available for people like us to invest in these startup companies. Matter of fact, we got a black company that's going public pretty soon called Black Mama Vodka that's run by Vanessa Braxton. There are a lot of ways to generate money now if we just be creative. Just be creative. And so this new age of thinking, these young folks, they know, man, let me tell you, people make so much money on YouTube. They being creative.
That's right.
I'm making so much money on Facebook, I'm just being creative. And I'm putting my gifts out there to the world, and people are paying for them all over the world. Not just in our community. All over the world. I got people that buy my book in New Zealand. Got people buying my book in China. How did my book get to China? Be creative. Okay.
Oh, by the way, we have a GoFundMe, so you all reach out on Facebook, I can send you the
Okay,
link.
real quick, go ahead, Rob.
Before we leave that topic, we have to get beyond mom and pop organizations. If we're gonna grow as a community, that means we need to be able to hire 100 people, 200 people, 1,000 people, 5,000 people. Brother Tremon's already talked about the amount of money in our community, yet we're not using it properly. Why don't we as a community have a Fortune 500 company? Because we're not cooperating with each other to get that done. Which means that you gotta go beyond just your current concept of what a business is. The biggest detriment to our community was coming out of the civil rights movement and being anti-system. Meaning that we didn't go in and learn how the system works for equity capital, for bank funding, for business development.
Was it available to us?
Well, if we got faith, then we should be able to get it.
No, what I'm saying is you saying the biggest mistake we did is we didn't go into it. But was it really available to us coming out of slavery?
I will never create a limitation for what we can do. Because if you got faith, you can do whatever is required to be done. We've been talking about faith up here and creativity. We just haven't used it. We create our own barriers.
Okay, well, Rob, we gotta shut it down. I got 4 minutes to do what I need to do. I'm gonna get Remy. I need your question to be 1 minute. Pat, I need your question to be 1 minute. I don't need a lecture, nobody. And then I'm gonna get a response. We're out here.
I'm not gonna be a minute, but
Wait a minute, brother. Wait a minute, brother. Wait a minute, brother.
I just want to be
Right, exactly, and they didn't do all that, right. But see, he's in the system, so he's gonna push that, you know what I'm saying? He's a state.
That's right.
So he got
Beautiful job. Beautiful. Beautiful.
But I want to put you on the spot and to encourage us and you, because one of the things I recognize, you can't dismantle the master's house by using the master tool. So I want.
We built the master's house.
I said we can't dismantle.
But it's not to be dismantled.
It is to be dismantled if I think somebody said our core values. If our core values is profit.
Reverend Meeple, I love you, but I'm really on the time.
I was responding to my representative at that point. But my point is all I want to say is this: is that I hope that this panel will create within their heart a role and responsibility to connect with Black Star and partner with Black Star to help it to continue to flourish and fly.
Okay, now he done use the elder status now. He done use the elder status. Let me tell you what we're dealing with, y'all, before you start talking. We got to be shut down at 8:30. The people got to see the vendors. The people got to do shop. We got to play a little drama. So I got to be hard on the time. I ain't being funny. I love everybody. And
financial educator, they don't teach us that in school. You gotta learn about money. We talk about $1.7 trillion in spending power. Black folk need investing power. That's all we need. We need investing power. Learn how to make our money work harder for us than we work for our money. And we put our money to work instead of our back. That's what I got to say. I'm gonna be quick like that. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, brother. On down, man.
All right, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that there were three things when they set up the black college system. The first one was Howard University. In their charter, they said it was three things that they would never teach the slave.
Listen.
One was the science of mating, the other was the science of warfare, and the other was the science of business. All of these things go hand in hand. Once we start to master those three things and marry them together, then we'll find cooperative economics becoming real. So, I want to say in closing, thank you to the Kwanzaa Committee, thank you Brother Clarence, thank you everybody for coming. But I would like to charge the Kwanzaa Committee because something that Brother Akil said stuck with me. He said that this is not a religion. Right. And black folks, we don't need no more religion. Lord have mercy. We got enough. Right. But the point is, if we only do this one time a year, then it becomes a ritual and it becomes a religion. So I would charge the Kwanzaa Committee to make this year round. And let's come up with events that we can do all throughout the year because that's going to help to improve the black community in Birmingham. Don't make it a religion one time a year. Let's do it all year round.
That's right.
All right.
Reverend Ethan, I have to publicly apologize to you for interrupting. But my passion was running high. And as you were talking, I thought about Moses. And Moses learned the Egyptians. Mm-hmm. He knew everything that they knew. He just used it for his own community. His idea was not to really dismantle Egypt. It just happened because of his passion that allowed him to kill a guard.
He got enough sense to get out of Egypt.
He had to leave.
Go for self.
He had to leave.
Wow. That's what I'm saying. Let's leave Egypt now.
Yeah, but I owe you
Moses
that
was
public
an
apology
Egyptian.
because I did it.
Moses was
I
an
made that
Egyptian.
mistake publicly.
Yes,
But
sir.
the key part is that we have to get into sacrifice mode so that we can build
That's right.
something in our community. And until we get to that sacrifice mode, it's really not going to make much difference because we're hung up in consumerism. We're just buying products. We're fulfilling our self-esteem with what we drive, where we live, in the clothes that we wear,
Right.
and how much money we spend on our hair. I mean, it's inappropriate spending of money for where we are as a people.
I agree.
So we have to get into sacrifice mode to start building
Beautiful.
our community.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have much to say. Thank you all for having me here. Please make sure that you support these young men that are from your community, your next door neighbors, your friends, grandchildren, and children, and nieces, nephews. And continue to support black businesses. That's just something that me and my husband are stuck on. We try to make sure we are in the 4th Avenue Business District. I prefer for all my members to be black businesses. Not trying to be funny, but that's just how I believe we're going to help support our small black businesses. In order to give them the recognition that they need and the support that they need. So let's just continue to support each other.
Thanks for having us. But what I leave is 4 steps to be successful and sustain it. Number 1, know who you are. Know who God created. He created black excellence. He created pure brilliance, especially to my young people here. Understand these factors. Knowing who you are, number 1. Number 2, know what you want to do. Be crystal clear on what you want to do. And if you change it, it's okay. But have a aim, have a goal, knowing what you want to do. And to be passionate about that what, understand why you're doing it. And let that why be divine. One of the things with me, in 2008, in 2010, I went from 4 men to 60 men because I simply changed my mission statement. Instead of me saying I want to be the biggest, largest electrical contractor in the Southeast, I said, no, I want to create opportunity for others. So God stamped that, and I created opportunity for 60 men. You understand? Because it wasn't about a person. So let your why be divine. And number 4, put a timeline on it. When I'm going to get it done. If you got some goals in place, put a timeline on it so you won't keep on spinning your wheels. 3 years, a whole year go by, and you right at December the 30th saying I'm going to put a New Year resolution together. And now it's 2018.
The whole year done passed.
And the whole year done passed. Put a timeline to yourself.
Beautiful.
Challenge yourself. So
Beautiful.
that's what I leave. Action points.
Beautiful.